Hi, I'm Chantel with 141 Design Company, here with summer stitching, Christmas whips, woodbacker designs, some great giveaways, and some haul to share today for Flosstube number 2. Thanks for joining me. We're going to get right into the finishes soon. I hope you all had a great week. We had a fantastic week here in mid-Michigan. It's great weather out there, got a lot accomplished. Had some complications with weather the week before and had a leaky roof. So my husband had to do some roof repair this week, but it's all good. Got it all fixed and just had a great week. Got a lot done. Got a lot of stitching done this week too, and and a lot of finishing done. So that was super exciting. We'll get started with our summer stitching first and the fully finished pieces that I have to share with you. I also started working on Christmas, as everybody's kind of working on Christmas in July. So I've got some finished Christmas pieces, but they're not fully finished yet. And then I think I'll go into the rest of July with Christmas. I do need to do some fall things as well because I don't have any fall or Halloween stitching. Like I said last week, I'm new again to cross stitch. I used to do this about 30 years ago and just picked it up last year again, and I'm having a great time. I think one of my favorite things about starting cross stitch again, one of the chart designs are just so fun and whimsical. There's so many of them and they're easy to do. It's fun to pick up, and they're just very colorful and fun. The other thing I like is I've been very encouraged by Flosstube, and that's why I decided to join you guys here. Been encouraged by what I see with design backers and what you guys are doing with those and how you're designing your backers and how you're finishing your pieces. I feel like it just gives me so much freedom to just come up with an idea and go with it and try it. If I fail at it, no harm, no foul. I will stitch something again if I need to, or just move on and find something else to do. This is not, the end all be all of my art design. This is for fun, and it's a great hobby I'm enjoying. And I'm experiencing a lot of freedom with design and the fun of it all. And I encourage you to try as well, and to just try finishing some pieces and try doing whatever comes to mind. It's so fun, so freeing. On that note, one of the ones I have to share with you today is a chart that came. I'm in the Stitch Quarterly Club with the Fat Quarter Shop. Stitch Quarterly is a once a quarter, or four times a year, every quarter, a cross stitch chart will come to me in the mail because I'm in the club, and I get the chart, the floss, the fabric, comes in a bag, and I get a needle minder, and it's super cute. It's all done by theme. This last month, I believe it came in June, the second stitch of the year came out, and it was this one right here, Hello Summer. You can see I got it finished last month, and I really enjoyed it. It was fun to do. I'll be honest with you here. This chart wouldn't probably not have been something that I just bought at the cross stitch shop, the needlework store. Probably would have picked this one up. So I like being a part of the Stitch Quarterly because it's just sending me all sorts of different things, and it gives me a chance to try them. The club came with the fabric in it as well, and this gave me a chance to try navy. I had not stitched on navy yet. I have a hard time with black, but the navy I was able to do, so that was fun too. It was 14 count navy Aida cloth, and all of the floss came in it as well. It's a DMC floss. I have all the floss put on the floss fitties, I believe. They're also by It's So Emma. I get them from Fat Quarter Shop. My needlework shop also carries them, so I picked some of them up there. And I cut the floss into 1 yard increments, and then I put them on individually on these floss fitties, I believe they're called. The way I number them, I tried out the DMC stickers that come, you can buy them, and it's all of the little numbers, obviously, of the DMC floss. I was having trouble with keeping those on. They kept falling off. They weren't sticky enough, I guess. So I just decided to go ahead and cut the number off of the DMC wrap that comes around the floss, and I just taped that on. So that's been working pretty good for numbering off my floss, and I got it on a ring. So these were the floss that came with the Stitch Quarterly, the chart, which is beautiful. It's on a really nice cardstock. It's So Emma shop publishing house, they published those. And it comes with a nice photograph of another finish to give you some information or inspiration. Inspiration with that. Also came with one of the mesh bags. The mesh bags are my favorite. So if you're here, if you ever see me, Kimberly, or if someone else knows Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop, my vote are for mesh bags. I love them. The mesh bags are so fun. This one has a lot of fun confetti on it, and that was part of the club. And the needle minder also came going with the theme of the ice cream and Hello Summer theme. That all came together in my Stitch Quarterly. I was able to get that done up relatively quickly. I wasn't sure. I stopped a little bit. I got the summer stitched out right away, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to add hello or not. I liked it with just summer, so I thought about leaving it like that, but then at the last minute went ahead and added hello in. Then when I went to fully finish it, I decided to cut a backer for it, and we do welcome boards as well in our Etsy shop. Our Etsy shop is 141 Design Company Shop, and we sell wood cutouts that are for welcome boards that have the O that's missing, and you replace them so they're interchangeable. And all of our attachments kind of mimic this that you're seeing right here, this popsicle. We have sunshines and flip-flops, things like that. But we cut them out of 1/4-inch plywood. We have a very large laser cutter and very large, full size, if you might say, one might say. And we cut them on that. We designed the backers and designed the pieces. So I decided to go ahead and do a popsicle for Hello Summer. Our attachments come with layers. I've painted this with a chalk paint by Bungalow 47. And by layers, I mean you can see the highlight is a raised layer, so that's another piece. The handle, or the stick, I should say it's not handle, the stick on the popsicle also has another layer on it. This is what would, comes with this entire thing that I cut. I also cut out, and this has got to be my favorite part, you guys. I love, love, love these. They're so adorable. The same little popsicle in little miniature size for added embellishment, and painted those to coordinate with the threads that were in the stitch. I matted the stitch on some of Laurie Holt's gingham. I think it comes from Be Basics. Not 100% sure of that, but this is from Laurie Holt. This is Bungalow 47 chalk paint. Our wood popsicle backer that we cut. Ribbons from Hobby Lobby, and then the popsicle, little tiny popsicle embellishments. I have it standing in an easel that I picked up at Hobby Lobby this week. I found this one and I was really intrigued. I liked the way it has, let me put this down for a minute. It goes way back. So you basically determine the width of the piece that you're putting in there. You can see that. So this has been very handy for putting some of these little backer boards in, just to set on my shelf. And Hello Summer is now proudly displayed there with an easel. You could put a wall hanger backer or a little hook, little sawtooth hook backer on there if you wanted as well. But that's Hello Summer from Stitch Quarterly. The next one I finished up this week, this little camper. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this one's my favorite. This one is my favorite. I did this one on a box, a gift bag, wooden gift bag that I picked up at Michael's a while ago. So they were on clearance for 50 cents. How can you resist? I can make this, but I decided why? 50 cents. They're thin, they're wiffly, but it painted nice. I just painted it white. And then I matted it on that gingham, pink and red gingham that was from Bonnie and Camille's line. This piece was done on Laurie Holt's vintage cloth 10 count, so it's nice and puffy, and I used RO floss, thread floss to stitch it with, and I love it. It's from the Stitch Cards. I don't know if you guys have Stitch Cards, but that's also, Laurie Holt does a series of a Stitch Card set, and I don't have it here to show you, but it has 4 charts in it. So this, I believe, had the camper, a dog, and some other summer things, a grill, I think, maybe, and a watermelon, I'm guessing, so don't quote me on that. But they're very fun to do, and they make fun pillows. I liked it in this little wood thing. It had a little spot here so I could incorporate a bow and then stick some little flowers in if I wanted to, or, you know, just by itself. It's cute that way too. I just thought the yellow might add another little pop of color for that. So that was for that guy. Then the next piece I finished was from the Snapshots Club. Apparently I'm a club girl. That's what I like. Here it is. Sorry, way over here. Snapshots is also one. It's just fun. Isn't it fun to get something in the mail? I love getting stuff in the mail. So this one comes. The Snapshot is it's designed by Pine Mountain Designs, and it comes from the Fat Quarter Shop as well. By Pine Mountain Design, you can see that is the colorway that they charted in. So you got like a little orange car and different colors there. Kimberly puts these together from the Fat Quarter Shop, and she has her own floss pack that comes with it. So those are the colors that you would get for June anyway from the Fat Quarter Shop for that one. That's the colors that I got. And I used mostly these colors on there. The kit also mails you 10 count vintage cloth. I tried doing one with 10 count and I felt it was a little bigger than what I wanted it to be. So I reverted back to 14 count Aida, and this is my version of the June stitch. I'm sharing it with you now because the kit comes like in the middle of the month. The club arrives in the middle of the month. So this one I got sometime in mid-June, so I got it stitched up. And this was the chart I took with me when I went to StitchCon in Cincinnati. I did this one. I got to ring the bell, and I did this one that weekend. So it was about 2 days of stitching and working on. I used 14 count natural color Aida by Zweigart, and I'm going to show you a little bit more of that later, but that's what I stitched this on, and I'm happy with it. I'm really happy. I ended up doing the car in the red versus the gray just because I wanted it to stand out a little more, a little bit red. So that's the Snapshot. I'll be working on July probably in the next week or so because July should arrive sometime in mid-July. The other one that I finished up, or I fully finished this week, was Happy Camper by Laurie Holt, and these are my summer themed ones. This one I did on 10 count vintage cloth, so it's a big one. He's huge. I made 2 changes. I did use the Aurifloss thread that I got right from the Fat Quarter Shop, and I took Happy Camper off and added Aloha, Michigan on mine. I also added another dog. And in the back of this one, I don't know, it had really pointy ears, the dog did. So I made my ears floppy. And they represent my dogs. I have a black standard poodle. That's that guy right there. His name is Happy. And I have a pit bull who's also black and white. So the little guy with the white chest, that's Loki. So Happy and Loki are my animals at home. I adore them. They're wonderful. So that's the Happy Camper that I changed. Aloha, Michigan. You guys ought to check this place out, okay? It is on Mullet Lake here in Michigan. Michigan has beautiful, beautiful lakes. I love Michigan, and we are big campers. So that's why you see a camping theme here in my summer stitching. The campground is Aloha State Park. It's a beautiful grassy campground right on Mullet Lake, and we usually try to get sites there. We do get sites there every year, and we try to get them right on the water. We've been going to Aloha State Park for over 30 years. Our kids have grown up going there. It's where their childhood summer memories are. They love it. We love it. We've camped in pop-ups and tents. We had a fifth wheel for a while. We had a vintage camper, much like these. And we now have an Airstream that we're redoing as well. So this one will go in my Airstream, and I love it. I'm happy with it. This is also on one of our wood backers, and it's a fairly big size. It has the frame. I painted the backer in the blue, the same blue that the popsicle is out of actually. And then I matted this with that fabric, the gingham by Bonnie and Camille, the red and pink gingham. And then another tip, this is a painting bare wood tip for you, especially for a piece that is this large. When you're painting wood pieces, or attachments, or frames, or any of them, and if you're using a water-based paint, if you're spray painting them, no big deal for this, okay? You can just spray paint them. But if you're putting water-based paint on them, you're gonna wanna, the rule is to do what you do to do the same thing to both sides. Whatever you do one side, do to the other. So for instance, I used water-based chalk paint on this. That's that bright blue color. So because I painted one side, I also painted the back. This gives it stability. Otherwise, you could have warping on the wood. The water's going to cause your wood to warp. So you're going to want to do the same thing on the back that you do to the front. It's just a basic rule tip for painting wood frames and backers. And those are my fully finished pieces for the week and what finish off summer for me. So that'll be my summer stitching. We'll work on summer stitching maybe in January when it gets all wintry here and not Christmassy. Yeah, we get winter. It's harsh, but anyway. But speaking of winter, the next pieces I did was I got into the Jolly July that Stitching with the Housewives and Kimberly from Fat Quarter Shop are doing, and I decided to go ahead. I would do the stitches that came out from Priscilla and Chelsea because I can buy those from their Etsy shop. I can download them. I've already kitted up the flosses that they use with the Classic Colorworks, so I have those all ready. So it's a quick and easy thing I can do right here at home from my computer. So to get started with, these are finished pieces, but I will design backers for them for later. The first one that came out was Holly Jolly, and that was the Dapper Doodad. This finishes off at a 4x4 size. I did it on the 14 count chalkboard. Here he is, the little Holly Jolly Santa. Super fun. Enjoyed that. So there's first Dapper Doodad of the summer, or of July. The second one I did was the Jolly Jar, and that's the Santa in the jar. This is a 3x4 finish. So he is the same size as the other 3x4s that they do that are the Tier Tray Tippets and the What's in My Cup series. So he will finish off nicely even if I wanted to put him on one of my wall hangers. And there's that guy. Gonna stick with the chalkboard on these and 14 count. This one was really exciting to get because I really love teal. I love all things aqua, and I love the thread by Classic Colorworks, really tealy. So I was excited to see that one come out with that teal jar and the variegation on it. I'll give you a little secret behind my Jolly Jar Santa guy. I ran out of really tealy, okay? And I did scrounge around in my stash and I found the DMC equivalent to Really Tealy because I wanted to get it finished. And that was number 598. And it turned out really good. Like, you can't even tell. I know where I stopped and started, but you can't even tell. So that floss from DMC blended very nicely with Really Tealy. So if you find yourself in the same boat, know that those two went together nicely. The next one that just launched last week as a Dapper Doodad was Gingerbread Bakery. These, again, like I said, I order from the Etsy shop and then I just download them and print the PDF. That's as far as I got on him. Started him last night, sitting around chatting with my girls. So I started Gingerbread Bakery. And then one that was ornament they did last year, a couple little trucks. It was Gingham Greetings and Gingham Greetings 2. They did do them on black. This was a chart that I picked up at Stitches and Things here in Fenton, Michigan. And I decided I was going to use the natural 14 count. I got the truck done. And I talked to you about last week that I really liked just the trucks. I might just do the truck with the house in it. and just do that. I haven't decided yet, so I kind of stopped at that point for that. And by finding I like the 14 count natural Ada. The chart I showed you last week, which is behind me, America the Beautiful, I did that one on the 14 count natural color as well. A lot of people are asking what the actual color was, and it's natural. I found out today because I scooted over to Stitches and Things too, because I ran out of Really Tealy, remember? So I went over and bought some more, even though the DMC was good. I still like Really Tealy, so I got more of that. And I asked, they didn't have it listed who the manufacturer was, so I wasn't sure. It just said natural 14 count Ada. So they told me that it's by Zweigart, and she gave me a tip and said that if the fabric has this orange lace on the edge, like right here through the, I guess, is that the bias edge or whatever? Anyway, the edge, that's Zweigart does that. So this is a Zweigart fabric, color natural in the 14 count. It was a good tip to find out. So now I can share with people what that is. So those are my whips that I have going on right now. And I have one more whip. I still am working on the others I showed last week, Flea Market Flowers, getting to those. But I have another whip this week that is also part of my haul. So we'll launch into that. Grabbed out my bag from Goose Design. And this is just fun I was using all of the July bags that I have for all of my July stitching, whether it's Christmas or not. I got a lot of patriotic ones. This one will probably take me into August as well. I saw Fat Quarter Shop announce Snowballs for sale by Laurie Holt. Last year's when I started stitching, I started in the fall, and I started with Christmas. And what I started with was Laurie Holt's Vintage Christmas Ornaments, or Vintage Christmas Squares. They're a lot like this camper, and they have a lot of different little motifs in them with the border around them. I made them all into ornaments. She did a Flosstube on it on how to make them into ornaments, so I made them all into ornaments. I also did a little something different with our holiday decor last year. My kids are all grown, and I have 3 grandchildren. They are 7. They're going to be, Moxie's the oldest. She'll be 7 this month. 7, 4, and 1. And this last year I decided to shake up the Christmas decorations a little bit and go with more of that aqua red tones. And I really fell in love with Cozy Christmas, the fabric line by Laurie Holt. So I decided, I bought up a bunch of Cozy Christmas. I made a new tree skirt. I made 13 stockings using Cozy Christmas. I made some pillows. I'm working on a quilt for using those fabrics as well, but I'm also working on using those color tones that are in that fabric for my future holiday decor. The stitching with the Housewife colors, those blend pretty good, but Laurie's colors blend perfectly with her color combinations, obviously. So I like this type of a chart. So I grabbed Snowballs for sale because I figured I could use him in December and then take him right into January here as well. I got it started this week and decided to use Venetian Stone. I bought this fabric at Keepsakes when I was at StitchCon a few weeks ago, and I got that far. I got the snowballs with the wheelbarrow and the little sign and the snow bottom, and I had to make one change with the brown because the brown, I got the DMC. When I ordered, I did order the DMC floss pack that goes with it. And the brown, the tan that was on the sign was a little light. So it was blending. So I decided to darken that up. This aqua color blends a little bit too, but in my house, I can still see it. So I'm okay with that. I feel like it's going to be all right. And I really think that the snowman is going to pop nice. We'll see. Time will tell as we get on. And I love the buttons. Buttons are so adorable on this. I have the buttons because I bought those to go with the ornaments that I did last year. So I have the buttons already. So I'm looking forward to that and how that turns out. That was both haul and a new start last week in my Goose bag. The other things I got this week were, I went ahead and pulled the trigger on the cross stitch journal. and got the cross stitch journal that they publish from It's So Emma. This came from Fat Quarter Shop. I had been writing things down in another journal and decided, oh, go ahead and get the thing. Get it. I've been looking at it and I put it in the cart, take it out of the cart, put it in the cart, and finally get it, you know? So, and I like it. I'm happy. I'm glad I bought it. It's keeping track of my projects. It's got like project spots here. So it'll tell you, you can put your pattern name in, the designer, your start date, your end date, what you're working on, the flosses you use, the time trackers in here, any notes, so I can write notes about what finishes I did. So that's a new adventure for me, is the stitch journal. And I also, the scrapbooker in me and the paper lover decided I also wanted the label pack library cards by Laurie Holt. These are a little paper library card that you can do write all the details on your charts or on about your cross stitch, and then put them on the back of your finish. I haven't gotten them on these yet. I just got them, so I will get them onto these and write my little details in there and go from that. I like I said, the scrapbooker in me I like journaling, those types of things, and making notes for either future generations or my children or whoever. Funny story. I had a business with a friend of mine. We were buying vintage things and we'd paint them and, resell them and things like that. For a long time, we did it for about 10 years and it was so much fun. We had such a good time. We did estate sales a lot. And one estate sale that we went to, I was opening up all the cupboards and there's hutches and all sorts of, it was an amazing house. It was a great sale. But anyway, I kept finding these little notes and they were cards, and on each one, and we paint furniture. Okay. We also were doing paint distribution. That's the Bungalow 47. That's where that line comes from. She owns that whole line now, and I'm here full time with my husband at 141 Design, but it's a fabulous paint. So I will highly recommend it and give you a link to it as well. But anyway, inside these cabinets and pieces of furniture, I kept finding like note cards that said things like, if you paint this piece of furniture, I will come back from the grave and haunt you. And all sorts of little things like that. And it cracked me up because this lady, she had such a sense of humor that she went through all of her pieces and her furniture. And, she had passed away. That's why the estate sale. But she put all these little notes on all of the things. And anyway, that reminded me of the note cards. So I think notes are great. You should put notes on your things and document what you did. Even if you don't put down the stuff you used, you could always write a little tidbit about the time of year that you stitched this. I think that would be interesting on each one of these as well. You can keep the details of what you stitched it on in a journal like this, but you might want to put a note on the back of each one of these things talking about why you stitched it, what the time of year was that you stitched it in, what it was for, or give a little history of the time period that you were in when you made the piece. So go beyond just, I use DMC, I use 14 count. Tell the people in the future a little bit about why you did it. I think that could be cool. Anyway, more about my haul. The other things that I picked up today, I ran over this morning to Stitches and Things, and because I needed more Real-a-Teely, obviously, and feed my habit here. I grabbed a couple more charts because, like I said, I started last year in November. I don't have anything for Halloween, and I don't have any fall things done, so I need to get busy on those as well. I can keep going with Christmas, but I got to work on those. So I like to do Halloween decor with pumpkins. I love jack-o'-lanterns and pumpkins and that decor. So I'm looking for all things pumpkin, all things jack-o'-lantern. So I picked up Boo to You by Stitching with the Housewives. I've got a backer idea for this one. So I got Boo to You. I also found by Whispered by the Wind this stitch, Making Faces. I thought they were so cute. I think they'll stitch up adorable. So I might brighten up the colors a little bit, but I really like this one. If you guys know of any great, because like I said, I need to get more Halloween decor going, And then I like pumpkins. So if you can give me in the comments what your favorite Halloween stitch is and your pumpkin stitch, pumpkins that you found out there, because I'd like to add to that collection. I was also able to grab a yard, because now that I'm finding my stitching voice, we'll say, as far as I know things like I like to stitch with 14 count Aida. I prefer to stitch on lighter colors, not darker colors. I like the way this particular Aida felt, and the natural looks great in my house. So that being said, went ahead and invested in some fabric. So I have some fabric on hand, and I got a lot of the natural by Zweigart and got that as well. That's all I've got for haul. I'm super excited, and be honest, I want to get back to cross stitching and getting these things kitted up and ready to go, finish up that Christmas and get going with some fall. But we also did giveaways last week, and we gave away 3 sets of our wall hanger that I designed to go with a 3x4 stitch. The wall hanger design, I'll give you a little overview of it. It is 3 separate pieces, and it's laced together through a tab. Let me show you the unfinished tab. Through a tab on the wood piece, show that side, using 7/8 inch ribbon. And I used a wire ribbon so that I had, some stability. And I put it on with a glue gun. The glue gun that I use, I'll bring it to the next Flosstube and show you my glue gun. I use a Ryobi glue gun. I have a lot of Ryobi tools. I really like the interchangeable battery that goes with the Ryobi. And the Ryobi glue gun, it's portable, obviously, so it's battery operated. It's extremely hot. Blister to prove it. It's extremely hot, but it works really great for doing the finishes and putting these things together. I do not use a glue gun to put my wood backer pieces together. So I don't use glue gun to put wood to wood. On this, I use Gorilla Glue, which I use the clear Gorilla Glue, which is a non-water based, so that there won't be any warping, and it will, stick on there very well, and it's on there, right? It'll stay together. I don't want my pieces coming apart. So I use Gorilla Glue to put the wood together, and the Ryobi glue gun to put the stitching pieces together. So the press on board and the stitch, things like that. I wanted to give you some idea for measurements, and then I'll announce who the winners were, because we had 3 winners last week. And another tip for what I'm finding to be easy for while I'm putting together stitching. This is the piece that fits on the wall hanger that I have designed. It is for a 3x4 stitch. We can make them in other sizes, so if you're interested, give me a call. We'll work on that. We're going to talk about wood backers here in a minute as well. The inside stitch is a 3x4, right? So to mat this one, I made a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 rectangle. That's what I cut out of the press on self-stick board. One of the tips I want to give you is I hung on to the papers that came off that board so I would remember what my measurements were for this, to be able to duplicate this and continue to add. This one I'm going to keep just like this. I did not need to put the washer magnet. I was just playing around and trying it because, like I said, freedom, creative freedom here, right? But because I glued the bows on, I could have probably just glued these on. Unless I do, there's other holiday patriotic stitches that'll fit on here. So I might switch this out and put these on something else. So that, actually, I like that idea now that I'm thinking. But I wrote on these, my measurements, and hung on to them to use for patterns for later. So back to this, the first layer, which is where the stitch goes, I cut a board that was 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. The second layer, which is that red, that's from Chelsea's Checks. These fabrics come from the Priscilla and Chelsea Stitching with the Housewives fabric line. So that's the Chelsea's Checks red. That layer is 3 3/4 by 4 3/4. And then the third layer, which is the blue, that's from Priscilla's Pretty Plaids. That layer is 4 1/2 by 5 1/2. So you've got 3 layers that I just glue gun together, put the magnets on, and they just pop right in place here. And then the frame is also another layer, we'll say. There's an inch border here on this frame. So you could paint that any color you'd like, or you could even decoupage it however you want it to go. And this is the unfinished version of that. I'll show you one more thing. I think you'll be able to see. Let me move these things out of the way. When I put them together, okay, so here's, let's just put the backer on here, right? Because I needed to lace them. I put the ribbon up through this end, glued it down here, laced it back through here, and then the other one went right here. Let's put this like this, right next to it. Well, obviously, I want them to be the same space apart, right? I don't want one going this way. I want them to so what I did was I took one of the boards and I put it right in the middle, and that gave me even spacing between each one each time. Does that make sense? I think so. So that gave me my spacer, and that's how much space I had. Kept it nice and even, and so my wall hanger hangs nice and even, not crooked, the same amount of space in between each one. That's the 3-tiered wall hanger set. The top one has on both sides. The bottom one just has the one, so you'll have a blank side. We gave 3 of these away last week, and the lucky winners were, you guys put wall hanger in your comments, and we pulled out from the random generator, Vicki Hillhouse, congratulations, Tammy Knight, and Betty Bean. So you guys each won a set of 3. Message me. I will message you in the comments as well, and then we'll connect through email more than likely, and I will mail those out to you. This week's giveaways, I've got 3 things for the giveaway. So in the comment, I want you to put, again, giving away 3 things, one of each. I'll go through them. I want you to put a number. So put the number correlating to the piece, because last week with the wall hanger, I shouldn't have said the word. That was my mistake. We didn't know if wall hanger was all one word or if it was 2 words. So instead of having misspellings in words, or so the random generator can find you, I want to just use easy things. So let's just do numbers. They're easier. So number 1 is going to be another set of the wall hanger. Okay, so if you're interested in number 1, leave me a comment in the comments below and say, and with a 1 in the comment, and then the generator will pull you out. Number 2 will be one of our wood backer frames. This is a 5x7 backer. The inset is 5x7, and it's got the little faux shiplap design to it. So number 2 is a 5x7 unfinished wood. These are all unfinished, so you can paint them however you'd like. Wood backer frame. Number 3, and this will also be unfinished, but I'm showing it to you painted, will be our Popsicle Backer. This Popsicle Backer will come unfinished. It'll come with the highlight extra and the handle to be glued on extra. It will also come with 2 of the small popsicle embellishments if you want to add those as well. So that's number 3, the popsicle. So put 1, 2, or 3, 1 for the wall hanger, 2 for the frame, 3 for the popsicle. And we'll give those away next week. And I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun. I wanted to go over, I had a lot of questions, this will be the last thing, on purchasing the wall hangers. I was hoping I'd have them in the Etsy shop, and I don't have them in the Etsy shop yet. We're still working on finalizing some of the sizes and the pricing, because I want to be able to put a variety of sizes in for you to pick from, and what the pricing for those things are. Need to get a big wood order in. Wood prices are all over the place right now, so I'm nailing down some good wood prices, and I want to make sure I have the best pricing for you, as well as the correct shipping information. So I got to do a lot of weighing and things like that. However, I did have a lot of questions about buying wood backers, so go ahead and message me, email me, and I will get back with you on those things. I have to get back with a couple people I saw your comments, and I will get back with you on them. Backers, the plain one that like this one is on, these can come in a variety of sizes. So if you know what the inside measurement of your stitch is, this is a 1-inch frame. I can do custom sizes for you at this point, and we can just communicate back and forth and maybe get you a custom size until we get all of the details nailed down that way. And if you're interested in the wall hanger, go ahead and message me and give me comments there, and we'll just do a little back and forth for now. We'll keep it kind of chill until we can get official and go from there. But I really appreciate all of your interest in the wall hangers and the backers, and I want to make more, so I'm anxious to see where this goes and how it evolves, and we'll be bringing you lots of fun designs and lots of different backers, and it's gonna be good times. So can't wait to, I don't want to rush summer away, but I'm really looking forward to fall. I'm the kind of person that, yes, so when I go into Hobby Lobby and they already have fall and Christmas out, it's so exciting. I love it. I love it. I don't care if it is June and the fall came out. It's exciting. It's like I go and get the first things, and I love it. So anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and thanks for joining me here, and I will see you again for Flosstube number 3. It's probably going to be a little bit, couple weeks maybe. I got some things I got to take care of, and of course we've got a little camping to do. So, but I'll get back in touch with you, and we'll stay connected. If you like what you've seen, I'd love it if you'd hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll bring you more. So have a good week, and see you next time.